and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. This is not going to be my favorite walk of the year. Say that because it is officially chilly and it is also very windy. And I did not really want to go walk in it today, but I decided to because looking at the forecast coming up, it's very apparent that I am running out of good walking days. Beginning of December, the high temperature is going to be in the upper 20s, 30 degrees for a high. So, pretty sure, I love walking and everything, but I don't love walking in winter weather. So I'm probably not going to. Somebody working on their car today, and it's cold. Not a fun thing to do. Oh yeah, you have 40 mile an hour, 30 to 40 mile an hour winds today. Even though it's 45 degrees, it feels like 36. My hands are getting cold even though I'm wearing gloves, because I'm not wearing winter gloves. So needless to say, I'm going to take kind of a short route today, and I might go back to my policy of not walking if it's windy, because I'm really not enjoying this and I just started it. So that's the way the weather app crumbles, I guess. So we'll try to get a good sweat going, because I am dressed warmly. It's not helping my face any, but I am wearing my neck guard so I can cover my face if I need to. And yes, I am going to sniffle. So if you don't like it, tune out now. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to flip the camera around. It's not really a good day for that, to be honest. I do know I'll probably have good times per mile, because I usually do when it's cold. A very small smidge of sun. Show your pivot the camera over here. You can see that's not really sun, that's cloudy sun. So this is New England cold weather. We have had some rain and the front has gone by. I didn't walk yesterday because it was windy and cold. like to go more than 2 days without walking a week, but the weather is already interfering with my quota. So today would have been the 3rd day in the last 7 I didn't walk. Well, it'd be pretty nice if it wasn't windy, but it is. Starting to warm up a little now because I'm getting a sweat going. Kind of a funny feeling when your body starts sweating from walking, but your face is cold enough to pull something over it to warm your cheeks. But at the same time, when your face is covered, even though I'm using a material that allows me to breathe better, it's still constrictive when you're trying to breathe from walking. So there's Thorn Craig over there, where we go hiking through the woods sometimes. Contemplated doing that because usually when you walk through the woods, the trees kind of filter out the wind. So anyway, as always, the news cycle that's been kicking on is basically about Trump all day long. So I'm kind of tuning that out. It was fun watching the networks while the election was going on and watching how they were going to react afterwards. Now they're going to start slipping back into they seem to always gear their propaganda being against Trump rather than just covering what he's doing. If they would just cover what he's doing without the bias, I would watch him. I really can't understand why they think this helps them when ultimately they have lost viewership because of it. But like I said, they have to pander to that core group who refuse to watch if they don't do that. Well, more people voted for Trump and they refuse to watch if you do that. So how about just not doing that and letting the dust settle where it falls? You'll probably end up with more viewership than you've had in decades. Call me kooky. So anyway, we do have Lisa Murkowski insisting that every single nominee Trump does has a thorough FBI vetted background check. That's all fine and good, normally. But the main issue is the deep state, the FBI, people that work there, are anti-Trumpers and they cannot be trusted to have an honest vetting. That's just a simple fact of it, and that's why Trump doesn't want to do it. Personally, I don't think he has to do it. Lisa Murkowski is trying to make it a thing to get other senators to support it. Susan Collins in Maine will support it. But if she wants to go ahead and not vote for a single nominee, well, we have 53 senators with a vice president that can be a tiebreaker. So go ahead. These people are absolutely outrageous what they do. Shameful. Well, getting the blood flowing now, thankfully. Some parts in the country have gotten snow already, including not too far away from here, but we have not yet. We're going to get some rain this week on a couple days. A lot of rain, actually. A couple of storms, one a little bit less than half-inch rain, and another one's going to be in half-inch of rain, according to the forecast. Those apples I knocked out of the tree are all gone a couple days ago. They've been gobbled up. The animals are getting ready for winter. So I'm not going to worry too much about the confirmation process. Pete Hegseth is getting a lot of support from veterans. He's done a lot for veterans. He loves the military. He loves the people in it. And that's why he wants to be the Defense Secretary of Defense, because we need somebody that's going to have us ready for combat and to be able to win should we be ready for combat. So ooh, that's a serious wind right there. Definitely not a walking friendly day today. I do hope that you're going to have a beautiful Thanksgiving this week, regardless of whatever weather you get. I noticed parts of the Midwest, especially the portion closer to Canada, is going to get some bitter cold weather, which is the weather I'm going to get the first week of December after Thanksgiving. So comes with the package of living in certain parts of the country. And you guys down south are going to be colder too. But like right now, my cheeks are getting numb. I'm not enjoying it. So there's that. It's cold enough with the wind to make my cheeks numb. Now, if it wasn't, if it was not, windy today, my cheeks would not be numb. So thought I saw something in the woods there. Not sure what I saw, but it was nothing. Anyway, I'll head on up the hill here. I think I'll take my normal 5-mile route, which usually comes to about 5 1/4. It's the route I like to take when we have adverse weather, such as today. So we will see what Trump does. I'm not. I gotta tell you, we're always honest, right? And I am not happy with Donald Trump's pick for Surgeon General. Not at all. In fact, I'm quite annoyed by it. I don't remember her name, not that I could pronounce it. She's a daughter of immigrants that came here from Jordan. And she's been on Fox News and Fox Business. She was on there all through the pandemic, the scamdemic, and she promoted the flippity gibbet as well as COVID protocols, supported the lockdowns, supported the censorship on social media, which is really what bothered me about her. That's not somebody we should have for Surgeon General. Now, Dr. Fauci was the head of the NIH. Trump's appointee to the head of NIH was anti-Fauci, anti-COVID protocols that they used, and anti-flippity gibbet mandates. And while I realize the Surgeon General, so anyway, basically Trump's pick for the NIH, I'm happy with. But the Surgeon General, granted, is not going to be able to impose any of these restrictions. However, they can end up having things they've said in the event of another scamdemic. I'm tired of the Democrats and the media using things like, quote, even Trump's own Surgeon General supported these protocols. They'll just use it as a weapon against Trump. And she said it once, and I don't want her. It's not crazy for me to say it. And coming up here lies the problem we have with high winds in New England with lawn decorations. Looks like Pat the Patriot's having a difficult time today. Now, right now my legs are sweaty. in the middle of my body is, but my arms are a little cooler and my face is freezing. Quite an odd sensation, to say the least. So here we go again over this little hump here on this curve. Gonna watch people coming around the corner up ahead. I've walked this same route probably hundreds of times. Which adds up after 3 years or so. Year round, almost every day, weather permitting. I'm walking today more because I feel like I'm slacking if I'm not, which sounds funny, but like I said, I've already had a couple of days off from walking because of the weather. Today would be a 3rd out of 7, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I don't walk. Problem today is the wind, really. If it wasn't windy, you can walk when it's 20 degrees. The sun's out, that's a bonus. But if it's windy, that's really what cuts into you. And you know, it's one of those things where you have to cover your face and then you can't breathe. So you have to leave your face exposed. Well, you don't have to, but you know, I got a really thin face covering and it's difficult to breathe, so I only pull it up when my face is numb until it unnumbs. And right now my blood's flowing pretty good, so my face is warming up. Took about a mile extra to get the sweat going today compared to usual. We'll make it. We'll make it. I feel like right now there's no wind. It died down real quick for a second and it instantly feels warmer and then it picks up again. So anyway, it's going to be really exciting to watch Trump on Air Force One again, flying around doing things. He's going to have a good time. He's earned it. And you know, the real problem is you're going to have all this deep state stuff going on behind his back, and he wants his people in there. And you cannot blame him for that. Conversely, every person Trump nominates is going to be crapped on, picked apart, criticized, propagandized. He could pick Jesus Christ himself, and they will say he's a thief or murderer. And that's just the way they are, which is why we voted for Trump, because we're tired of them being like that. So his people have to be confirmed, and they will be. Republicans know better. They're going to have to run for re-election. Joe Manchin went against Trump, and now he's no longer a senator. So, you know. Who was the other one? Jeff Flake. That's another one. Mitt Romney, he's out. Realized he wouldn't get reelected. And that's what we got to do. The public has to tell them what we want. That's why I know his people are going to be confirmed. And I don't think Trump did it on purpose to have Matt Gaetz sacrifice himself by being the most controversial person he could have picked as his first pick. But that may have been the strategy, just to see how far they're willing to go and what he can get away with the Senate. So that might have been a test by him, as well as possibly having Matt Gaetz for an attorney general, which Trump would have been happy with. So anyway, Pam Bondi, that Trump did pick for attorney general, should be confirmed. Really see no reason for her not to be. They're going to want to do an FBI background check, but really she's going to be the Attorney General, and she'll do a good job. She had been the Attorney General in Florida for 18 years. She prosecuted a lot of people. She's a really good prosecutor, and she is the one we want to recognize these crooked, dishonest prosecutors in New York and other places and charge them with crimes. She's the one we want to prosecute people for voter fraud, which, believe it or not, just because Trump won doesn't mean there wasn't voter fraud. There was a lot of it. I'm fully anticipating people to be charged. They can start with the council members in Bucks County who willfully broke the law, despite the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania expressly telling them they cannot count those illegal ballots, and they did anyway, which is a felony. She ended up having to apologize. That is not going to absolve her from being prosecuted. So the hammer of justice is coming, folks. It is not retribution. Trump is not going to go prosecute political opponents. He's not going to pick out a man and then go find a crime, okay? It's not what's going to happen. That's what the media is trying to say. But that comes with the package. Of course they're going to say that. That's an easy defamation to use with Trump. But we've heard it all before, and we voted for Trump anyway because we know it's false. And it feels nice to be on this walk right now, not having to defend Trump all the time, when it's pretty clear that the American public is behind what he wants to do. They know our system's broken, they know it's corrupt, and they want it fixed. Just like they want mass deportation. So, and that is going to happen too. But Pam Bondi is going to be really good because she knows what she's doing. She's a tried and true, extremely experienced Attorney General. She'll answer all the questions in Congress they throw at her. The biggest thing they have against her is calling her an election denier, because she believes there was cheating as well. And she did start investigating some election fraud allegations in Florida, and she ended up not continuing it. So I'm sure the Democrats are going to bring that up as a talking point to discredit her thinking that there was election cheating to begin with. So she ought to just be honest and true in front of the Senate and say that if we find election fraud and it's provable that there was election fraud, people will be prosecuted, whether there's just somebody volunteering in the ballot count center who signed a waiver, a legal document saying they would be honest, to whatever organizers there are, like the one that organized the false voter registrations in Pennsylvania. So justice is coming, folks. And like I've always said a million times, democracy is a slow, painful son of a bitch. It took 4 years to get here. It's going to take another year or two to clean things up to the point of feeling like something's getting done. And it's going to take 2 more years after that of actually getting things done. And then Trump will be out of office. Who is going to replace him? A weirdo Democrat? Or another Republican that is actually a good Republican and not establishment. So we have a lot of hurdles to stay vigilant with. We are going to have another election 2 years from now already for midterm elections. It's going to be an important one, as they all are. And typically what happens is the Democrats, I'm expecting the Democrats to win back the House. majority, and then they're going to play their shenanigans with Trump. But that is going to be based on Trump's job performance, which I'm anticipating will be good. And I think Trump does a really good job. People have more money. Things are hitting on all cylinders like they were before the pandemic. Trump should be okay at midterms. So they may give Trump the Congress lower chamber, the House, and they may take away the Senate. That's yet to be seen. But it has been comical to watch Chuck Schumer lately warning the Republicans not to treat this like a one-party country, which is absolutely hilarious considering what Schumer and the Democrats were going to do with the filibuster. These people are absolutely shameless. They think voters are morons. And wouldn't that be funny if midterms comes and Trump gets the House and Senate again? Hi, how are you? So, that being said, we got all kinds of things going on, happenings and goings on, which we can keep track of whatever way you want to. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I don't watch those people that put themselves on screen and use a video clip and then they pause it and start talking with their own opinion and propaganda. I'm sure that's fun and everything, but I'm not interested in that. I like to watch the actual speeches and commentaries, because there's a lot of people on YouTube just on there to try to make a couple bucks, which is fine. You know, God bless you for that. My channel can be monetized. Still thinking about it. I mean, I should just apply for it and see what happens, but that would be ads on my channel, which, you know, a lot of people use ad blockers now, but I don't know. Personally, I don't think enough people watch anything on my channel for me to make any money, but you never know. A couple of bucks is a couple of bucks, you know what I'm saying? So regardless, this is really, I do this just because I enjoy it. It's pleasurable to me. But anyway, like I was saying, I don't like Trump's Surgeon General pick. She's just, she's bad news. That's just something about her I don't like. I think she's a good person. I just think, you know, she's supposed to be, you know, this doctor and medically trained, and she's following the medical journals from basically a medical association that's been corrupted by Big Pharma. And she's just regurgitating all the bad stuff that I didn't support. As far as I'm concerned, anybody using, well, basically 2020 to 2021, anybody that supported anything in that period that made us miserable, they've lost me. I'm not going to support that in the medical industry, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, now I got a pretty decent sweat going. It's not as bad. And for you people wondering how I'm staying warm on my body, my legs, I'm wearing leggings that are kind of thick for wintertime underneath my cargo pants, my military fatigue cargo pants, which is are my favorite pants to walk in because they're loose and baggy. And I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, nothing fancy. It's actually my Bela Lugosi Dracula one, which is pretty cool. And I have a t-shirt over that, loose fitting. And then I have a 2XL kind of like hockey jersey thing over that. And then I have my thick hoodie on top of that. So it's always really important to keep your body heat generated when you're walking. And for my face, when my face gets cold, which now it's not because I'm sweating and my face has some radiant heat going on, I guess. Most of your body heat that you lose are through your heat loss points, which is your armpits, your groin, and your head. So I have a nice knit cap on. I have my neck collar, which is a something that I got when the pandemic started because I didn't know what was going to happen with the enforcement of it in stores, and you do have to go buy things. But what I did was I ignored the person at the door and just walked in anyway. So she has big puffy groundhog slippers. I like them. So anyway, I would just ignore the door person and walk in anyway, and they would be screaming at me, literally, not joking, "Sir, sir, I know you can hear me." I would just ignore them, grab a cart and go shopping. Nobody ever did a damn thing. And that's what you got to do. We need to have civil disobedience. And you know, here's the thing. If it would have been a real disease with real serious problems for me, I wouldn't have gone shopping. I do like what changes that have happened since then, where you can go online and order your groceries at Walmart, and most supermarkets now do it. And you can drive up yourself and pick them up outside. But the downside with that is you have to trust other people with what they pick for you as an alternative. But on the website, you can pick your own product alternative if it's out of stock. And I have used Walmart a few times, and they did a great job. You can also have them deliver your groceries and leave it right on your porch. I did that too. So, costs a little extra. But the point is, people had options, and it was nice. I'd rather do that than deal with the BS. Because I don't like BS. Because it's BS. Nobody out on the playground today. It's cold and windy. The only people out today are the ones dumb enough to go out and walk. So, here I am. Have a good chuckle. So anyways, should be coming up on 2.5 miles any minute now. Usually when I get to this sign, I hear 2.5 miles. In my ear from the lady inside my phone. Now my hands are sweating. So when I started out this walk, my hands were cold with these gloves, but now my hands are getting sweaty. So that is the whole point of walking, is you have to keep a good pace like I do. And I like to stay around 15 to 17 minutes per mile. That keeps the body heat going. but it's always difficult to get started. I have to admit that. You know, there's always that moment when you feel like you want to turn around and go back. But like right now, I'm comfortable, I'm warmed up, and when I'm done walking, I'll walk into a nice warm house. I parked across the street. You can't see it right now, but they have Christmas lights lit up at night. Passed by here the other night. Like a bird's nest up in that tree. See it? Assume that's a bird nest. Anyway, let's cut over to the left here. See, I feel better already. Getting my walk in, I'll get my walk in, and then I won't feel like I'm being lazy. So they're going to be digging over here. Those little yellow flags were buried gas line flags. Everybody's inflatable lawn decorations are all deflated today. And deflate them except for the Patriot Pete we saw, who was keeled over. Windy today. This house was all pretty the other night, all lit up. Well, I got to tell you, we hit 3 miles early. I have walked this same route hundreds of times. It's a safe route. It's the perfect distance. It also has the perfect amount of uphills and downhills. It's like the perfect walk. So this is my most common one that I have done probably 300 times. in 3 years because I mix it up with other ones. And we hit 3 miles already, which isn't supposed to happen until we get quarter mile ahead. So GPS is different currently. So it makes me wonder if I was actually walking further before and didn't know it, because that's what the GPS said. And so I don't know, I'm using the same app, unless they made changes to the app, which is possible. May have updated its firmware, but it is noticeably off. It's adding more distance. And a lot of times for a while there, it would be off. And then after I got back and I stopped my walk, it would correct itself. It's like it went online through my Wi-Fi, which is more accurate than my phone internet. And it corrected the difference. But all this walking I've done since I told you it turned 3 miles, previously, still way up ahead around the corner around this building, is when it would turn to 3 miles. So I am absolutely sure it is off. I'm not sure why. I do know I'm damn happy with these Reebok Track sneakers. These have been the best walking shoes I have ever had. They stay together. The other pair I replaced just because the cushioning lost so much of its cushion from being walked so many hundreds of miles. Those are the ones I could have walked from here to Virginia with, from Maine. And they did not unglue or unstitch. It's unbelievable. Good craftsmanship. And this pair has been exactly the same. So, Reebok Track, you can find them for between $60 and $90, depending on sales or sellers. They did fit a little snug, and a good shoe company will do that on purpose, because when you break them in, they stretch out, and you don't want them to be too loose. So another good example of that is anything you buy from LL Bean for shoes that are made out of leather. They will actually fit snug, and they actually have a card or tag on them telling you that for the first few days that you wear them, they are going to fit tight and snug. So consider that before returning them. It's a known thing. That actually means that they did it right. So when you go buy a new pair of shoes, they should fit a little snug where they don't feel uncomfortable, but they don't feel loose either. And with moderate lace tightening. And you should get a good toe box, which is very difficult for me to do because I'm one of those people where my second toe, which is the toe next to my big toe, if you follow, is actually longer than my big toe. And that causes me problems with just about every pair of shoes I've ever purchased. And also my right foot is wider than my left one, so that requires a little bit of a break-in on my little toe joint where it connects to my foot. So sometimes I will have callus problems on my little toe joint until the shoe breaks in, which it has, and I'm not having any issues now. So you got to break in your shoes. That's why I hate to see an old pair of shoes that you love walking in finally give out, because it means you're going to have to find another pair, break them in, hope they fit, and more importantly, you need to hope that they didn't stop making that model, because they may replace that model with another one, and then you get them and the pitch angle of the heel to toe is different. And that's the hazards of buying things online. So I might actually be forced to go into a shoe store if they don't have this same model still available. Now the other good news is you can find new old stock, which is always good. I did that for a couple leather jackets I have. I used to like Overstock.com, who is no longer in business. They merged with Pier 1 Imports, I believe. I know the CEO of Overstock.com was a Trump supporter. But anyway, I found a couple of really nice Italian leather jackets, actually 3 of them, and they were $100 a piece, and the price tags on them when I got them were $5.99 from a high-end New York store. I do like to wear nice clothing. I know a lot of times it doesn't look like it on my walks, but I'm on my walks. So there's no need to wear my racing leather jacket with white racing stripes on the sleeves on my walks. For one thing, they need to be dry cleaned, and I don't want to sweat in those, even though leather jackets are windproof. So I wear them when I'm not walking. How's that? All you see is what you see when I'm walking. So, you know. So anyway, I am contemplating doing live chats. I think I will make a live chat at some point, and I will kind of advertise it ahead of time by making a placeholder for it with a timer. So then when it times down, I'll go live on there and see who stops in to talk, whatever anybody wants to talk about. However, I do not like to talk about a lot of personal stuff, and people sometimes want to know the personal stuff, and I'm not going to discuss that. So, but I will have conversations about politics, firearms, music, other things I'm into like guitars, sci-fi movies, whatever. I think that would be fun. All right. where you learn how to use an ambulance. No, it's actually a ambulance service place, and they work on them there, and people are trained with the medical stuff. Good to know. Hopefully they're not coming for me anytime soon. I hope. Cross your fingers. So as you can see, it's a typical New England drab, kind of cold, windy day. For anybody that talks about, oh, I'd love to live in Maine. Well, you'd love 3/4 of the year, but 1/4 of it maybe not. Or you may be like me, where about half of winter you like it, and then the other half is spent waiting for it to leave. Benefits of winter in Maine. I do like the room lighting, because when you get snow on the ground outside, daylight and sunlight reflects off it, and it lights your house indoors during the day, nice and bright and cheery. That's always nice. It's one of those things I do like. And I think some of my walks I did with snow on the ground on this very stretch I'm walking are still available in my playlist. I do believe I have set my playlist up where it has all the dates sequentially from my first walk up until now, but YouTube has been removing redundancy. They use an algorithm to determine which walks are redundant compared to others. So some of them have been removed. All of my woods walk ones are still there because I have a separate playlist. So you can watch from my first woods walk, which is only about 20 minutes on a shaky handheld cell phone camera, but it was my first one I filmed. And then we just went from there. Got another camera that was still kind of shaky, then eventually got the GoPro, which has been excellent. It has been field tested as much as it can be. I have worn this when it's raining. I have worn it when it's windy. I've used it at night, daytime. I've used it when it was 18 degrees. I've used it when it was 95 degrees. And they do get really hot, I noticed. Like when the battery dies and you go to change it, it is hot. It generates a lot of heat. So typically that's not good for electronics, but it's still working. We got a little squirrel at the base of this tree. Hi, buddy. He's eating a nut. Minding his own business, or her business. I don't want to sexually discriminate against a squirrel. The squirrel police will come. Which, by the way, when the squirrel Peanut was put down by the insane New York authorities, as was Fred the raccoon, I didn't hear one peep out of PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Didn't say a word. And that's always when you can tell how much of a fraud these people are and how politically motivated they are. The state of New York could be euthanizing people's pets free-nilly-willy, and PETA is not going to care. What do they care about? Canned tuna and eating eggs, which people can't afford anymore, from what I've been gathering. It's one of those things where the regular local farm eggs prices have gone up, white eggs have gone up, and organic priced eggs Organic eggs used to be the expensive eggs. Now the other eggs have gone to the same price range as organic. So people are just opting to buy the organic eggs because they are the same cost, which is too much. So I think the funniest thing with Joe Biden, which really cracked me up, is he gave a speech yesterday or the day before, and he talked about leaving the country better than he found it, saying that he has done a great job with his presidency. If that isn't the most ridiculous gaslighting you have ever heard in your life, and he may even believe it because we know he's got dementia, probably believes it because it's, hey baby, hi darling. So he probably believes it, and it's one of those things. If that was the case, you would have won for re-election, and he probably honestly believes he would have beat Trump again. So his legacy is going to be the only person that has beaten Trump. And we already know that that was a stolen election. Hopefully the algorithm doesn't punish me for that, but it is what it is. I have an opinion. Excuse me. My opinion is as it is. An opinion. Pam Bondi, on the other hand, I believe is going to uncover a lot of stuff that was covered up or never looked into. Because we need to have election integrity in this country. People need to know it's not okay to cheat, even if it's against an orange Hitler, because he's an orange Hitler. You can't be self-righteous and feel like you can cheat because the end justifies the means. It's a terrible way to be. That's lynch mob mentality right there. All right, I'm walking. Still haven't figured out what they're doing to the church yet. It's been too windy for them to work on it. So So the GPS is way off today. I really don't know what's different. Did our magnetic poles shift? Is that what's going on? Could see my breath today. That I did notice. So it's cold enough to see my breath. Sun is starting to go down now. Here comes that wind again. Dadgumma. So I saw something pretty sad online. I had mentioned something about my walking and posted a screenshot from one of my walks, talked about how much walking I do every day and my age, 56. And this person said they were 64 and they can barely get from the kitchen table to the bathroom. And I was like, they were serious. Here comes the ambulance. And that sign over there lit up in red. It says smile. It's something I like to do a lot. Just not today because it's windy and cold. I'm not doing the selfie view today, so I hope you don't mind. One thing that's crazy right now is used car prices. At some point, it'll probably be better to get a new car, a newer car that costs less than to buy a used car. All right, I'll head down this way. Looks like I'm doing good time today, from what I can see. Well, now we're going to get some sunshine finally, just as it's going down. That's like insult to injury today. Nice looking contrast though. Let's see. This is also the time of year where walking has to be done earlier in the day to get sunshine. There's going to be virtually no night walks unless it's in the 40s at night because of a warm front. I don't anticipate it. And once we start getting snow, that's probably going to be it, friends. But like I said, we are going to get rain this week, and Friday after Thanksgiving, it looks like rain mixed with snow, so I don't know what that's going to do. Could end up getting 3-4 inches of snow, or it could just all be rain. This time of year, it's tough telling, not knowing. But this is the time of year we get our first snow, that's for sure. So if you've been watching and walking with me all year, I've done hundreds of walks. Sounds funny saying that, but it's true. At least 5 miles every walk, sometimes 6. We had at least one 9-mile walk. That was interesting. We went around that big pond because I made a wrong turn because the sun was bright. It was a warm day, and I brought up Google Maps and I could barely see the screen because I don't have my reading glasses, and I thought I was at a different intersection, and I got lost because I'm old and blind. Sad things to report is there was always a tiger cat out here and greeted me on my walks for a while. Didn't see him all year this year. So I don't know what happened to the cat. They either moved away or something bad happened to the cat. So I can't really picture the cat just going away like that when it was this regular thing it liked to do. So we are going to be winding down up ahead here. About another half mile to walk before I end the walk with you. You all waited for me to cross here. Thanks. We got beautiful Thorn Crag across the way here, which we have gone hiking through there many times. All those beautiful fall leaves are gone now. Everything looks dead and brown. And all those leaves that fell off serve several purposes. The main one of which, in the woods, very important, is nature recycles itself better than anything. All of those brown leaves at the base there, they're going to get covered in snow. In the spring, the snow is going to melt. All that warm weather and wetness is going to decompose all those leaves. And all those leaves are going to fertilize the other trees. So the leaves are basically fertilizing the trees they came from, and that's pretty amazing. That's why I enjoy walking in the woods. Now I'm going to cut across the road here. And, I could have done a woods walk today, but I opted not to. Just because. I'd be interested to see what my walk times are today and how accurate the GPS turns out to be. May end up making a plate of pasta tonight. That might be good. Have some beef, ground beef with some homemade tomato sauce. Put in some diced tomatoes. Have some linguine. Use oregano and Italian seasoning. make myself hungry just talking about it. And like I said, you know, I lost all that weight, good 40 pounds over the last 3 years, just walking every day, changing my diet, stopped drinking soda, cut out all the corn syrup. Even the condiments I buy have real sugar in them, and a little bit less calories. And staying in shape is important for being healthy. And again, I could end up having like what happened to Paul Harrell happen to me tomorrow, you know, find out you got pancreatic cancer or something. He ran several miles a week, was very healthy and fit. But the point being, you can increase your odds with just general health. And you know, they don't really know what causes pancreatic cancer. It could have been something crazy like absorbing Hoppy's number 9 through your skin while cleaning firearms. You know, I don't like to use rubber gloves when cleaning firearms. A lot of people do. And I don't know what kind of problems that causes. I do know that some people that never smoke end up getting lung cancer, and then some people that smoke their whole lives get nothing. So a lot of it is genetics, the health of your immune system. I do know that from studies that were done, I forget the doctor's name, but he did a study over 25 years, I believe. And he monitored 2,000 something people. It was a large sample size. And what it monitored was walking. People that would walk and stay healthy and people that didn't. And he said your odds are 80% better if you walk regularly and have regular cardio exercise of living your full life without major health problems. So there was a clear connection there. A lot of the people that didn't exercise very often developed cancer, heart disease, strokes, diabetes, and they're all autoimmune problems. So your immune system affects your health dramatically. So you need to get vitamin D, even if it's an over-the-counter supplement. The best is actually getting sunshine, which I get a lot of it. And during the summertime at the range, when the sun is really hot and strong, I do use a sunscreen for the harmful radiation to avoid getting skin cancer, skin melanoma later. So a lot of people that spend time in the sun develop that, especially if you are very white, of Northern European descent. Typically people with blonde hair or light-colored brown hair, their skin is very white and not as protected because they come from an area of the world genetically where most of the year is weak sunshine. So it wasn't necessary. Closer you get to the equator, the darker the skin you get. So all of this is tied together. You do have to keep your immune system healthy. That's the most important thing. So if you're somebody that's getting colds all the time, you're always sick, you need to boost your immune system. I am rarely, if ever, sick. I get a cold once every 3 years, maybe 4 years. I did get COVID twice in 3 years. And that almost matches what I get for colds. So the last time I vomited from being sick was 2011, 13 years ago. So that's, I'm pretty healthy. Just, I did have a gallbladder attack once for some nuts I ate. I don't remember the brand. It was a particular kind of mixed nuts. For whatever reason, it did not agree with me. But anyway, I want to thank you for walking today. And you know, it wasn't the selfie stream, but hey, you know, I look the same as I always do. So, big deal, right? Anyway, thank you for walking with me. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and be happy, and know that winter is here. It's not the end of the world. Enjoy Thanksgiving with your family. And if people are not having Thanksgiving with you because you voted for Trump, well, try to reach out to them anyway, and they'll come around. So we will see everybody later on the next walk. Thank you very much for walking, and God bless you and your family. See you soon.